Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose Jayanti or Subhash Chandra Bose's birthday is celebrated on 23rd January every year to remember and honor Netaji's vigor as one of the greatest freedom fighters of India. This video is a small attempt from us to remember his great achievements and his service to our country. Netaji was born in Cuttack in Odisha in 1897, graduated from Kolkata and proved his mettle by becoming an Indian Civil Services officer. But he was not accustomed to a life of comfort and amenities that came with his job. He was a warrior who had to wage the freedom struggle. Not only did he embrace the freedom movement wholeheartedly, but also became an inspiration for freedom. With the slogan, "Give me blood and I will give you freedom," he started preparing to awaken the country. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose's life is a story of struggle. It is the story of a young dreamer that tells the saga of consciousness, struggle, and success in every eye. One who has the power to rip the ground with his arms. One who talks about making a hole in the sky. One who is anxious to achieve his goals. One who does not accept anything for free. And if he wants freedom, he is ready to spill his blood. Thousands of people sacrificed their lives on Netaji's call. He created an army against the British in no time. Such was the charisma of his philosophy and personality that whoever listened to him was attracted to him. His popularity skyrocketed and he became Netaji to the general public. Success always stands on the pillar of failure. Bose lived with this philosophy and also inspired others. Netaji encountered failures several times, but he converted those failures to triumph with his struggle. Whether it is municipal politics, the journey from a common congressman to the Congress president's position, the formation of the forward bloc, or the struggle of the Indian National Army, he passed every test with distinction. Returning to India in 1921, he joined the nationalist movement led by Mahatma Gandhi and the Indian National Congress. Bose worked with C.R. Das in Bengal. He then followed Jawaharlal Nehru to leadership in a younger group within the Congress, which was less keen on constitutional reform and more open to socialism. Bose became Congress president in 1938. Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh had a major contribution in the life of Netaji. The banks of the Narmada transformed his life. The Tripuri Congress session was held in March 1939 in Jabalpur. Despite poor health, Netaji had arrived on a stretcher to participate in it. Thereafter, he came again to Jabalpur on July 4, 1939 to form the forward bloc. The people of Madhya Pradesh have a deep relationship with Netaji. In every town of the state, there is a ward in his name. Subhash Chandra Bose's message to his colleagues was, "Success may be distant, but it is imperative." Bose used to say, if a person is not obsessed, he can never become great, but he should also have something else inside him. Bose is credited with giving global identity to the Indian leadership. Bose accepted the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, but ironically, Gandhiji himself became the cause of him leaving the Congress. But the two leaders always had respect for each other. After re-election in 1939, differences arose between him and Gandhi. The senior leadership in the Congress supported Gandhi and Bose resigned as president and was eventually ousted from the party. In July 1940, Bose was arrested by the Bengal government over a small protest. In mid January 1941, he escaped from India heading into Afghanistan. Heads of states of important countries stood by him, and Netaji lit the fire of the freedom struggle beyond India's shores. Netaji was also fluent in many Indian languages. Bose's struggle for freedom proved to be an inspiration not just for India but also for all third world countries. The Indian freedom struggle and the War of Independence led by Bose had a profound impact on those countries. Netaji's status establishes him as the hero of freedom globally. This is a picture of Subhash Chandra Bose, an Indian nationalist leader, with Japanese Prime Minister Hideki Tojo at a parade for Indian national independence at Shonan, Japan. He built a force and presented that force before the enemies of the country as the Azad Hind Fauj. He gave the slogan of Dilli Chalo with the new spirit. Thousands of soldiers of a 60,000 strong army sacrificed their lives for the country. He was so fond of Bharat Mata that his country, that was tied to the chains of slavery, did not let him live peacefully. People beyond India's borders also developed a fascination for him. At the time of India's independence, Clement Attlee was the British Prime Minister. At that time, his host, Governor and former Calcutta High Court Chief Justice P.B. Chakravarti tried to find out from him the reason behind the British decision to grant freedom to India. In response, Attlee said that the loyalty of the Indian Army and Navy to the British state was declining due to the increasing military activities of Bose's Azad Hind Fauj. This was one of the major reasons. This acknowledgement proves the great contribution of Bose to India's independence. It finds a mention in a letter written to the publisher by Justice Chakravarti in the book A History of Bengal by R.C. Majumdar. Here are some of Netaji's popular sayings. Freedom is not given, it is taken. No real change in history has ever been achieved by discussions. We have to build our life on the theory which contains the maximum truth. We cannot sit still because we cannot or do not know the absolute truth. One individual may die for an idea, but that idea will, after his death, incarnate itself in 1,000 lives. Remember that the greatest crime is to compromise with injustice and wrong. India's distinguished revolutionary Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose gave his sweat and blood to free India, and his words stay immortal, inspiring millions. Let us all acknowledge his greatness and his invaluable sacrifices always. Jai Hind!